Till April 23. It's still going on, believe it or not. A lot of them left after the last video. I went down to Maslin and played that last tape. A lot of people scattered. In January of 19, a guy walked up to me in Walmart. Remember the truth, they'll try to implant lies. They'll try to steal everything you have in life. The agent's so corrupt, he'll try to steal a settlement. My witness protection program money. By February or March of 19, a domestic violence group was following me around, trying to protect me when I was out. She was there, and she was with a brown-haired, brown-bearded guy. She was the same lady at Dr. Rapika's office in December of 18 or January of 19, told off some people for being mean to me. Alright, she's in there, she's like, she's amazing. I'd like her to speak when this is over. The guy said, she is amazing. And I could write a bestseller on what happened. A paid-off dirty agent, a man trying to kill his wife, and men being shot at running. I'd call it Karen's Prayers. It'd be a bestseller. That's where I got the name of my video. Oh, and seeing the main officer that was over the case that went to Dave and him outside my clients last night, telling them that I was an informant. He said, you know, Kurt said that they're all going to get in trouble, a lot of trouble for this. I seen what she texted. They all have a copy of my phone. They're going to get a lot of trouble. Said that agent's trying to cover up a lot of the things they did. He can't. He has stole over $377,000 from the informant program. He better give it back. It's 30 years. And he can't just take somebody's money. He can't just embezzle it. It's for working this case. For you'll have a life of peace as an informant. Nothing legally stated, dated against you again for working this case. No man will ever touch you. I'll take care of everything. I'll pull you out if it gets too bad. I'm opening an account with $5,000 a month. It'll start building today. You'll have that kind of money. You'll have that money to live on when you move out. He said, he said, and nothing legally charged against you ever again for working this case, and we'll always put it back to as if it never happened and back to that traffic ticket, even when you tell. Okay? And he said, but if you tell someone else, you guys, you know, and he's bullying me. They said he stole the money on the first day, December 2nd, 22, Wendy's Alliance was in there with a day program. One of the guys that watched me, is that the one that church tried to have killed? He said, yes. He said, I heard she didn't get any money out of all this. He said, no, it's that one man from the case stealing every dime for herself since the first day. I wonder how many other informants he betrayed, and he fed them to the enemies and then stole their money. If they go back through his cases, I bet I'm not his only victim. Last Sunday, I was at my, like in the last video when I told you, I was at my daughter-in-law Jen's mother's memorial. Went to leave. My car's bugged. It will pick up 2 parking lots away. And where I talked to Shay the night before about somebody messing with me, having the marks and bruises, throwing up, getting dizzy, seeing that picture of that guy in the woods, that somebody was messing with me big time. I wasn't sick till I moved up there, and I lost over 70 pounds, and they were messing with my Diet Coke or my coffee creamer. She's like, Karen, that's creepy. And I said, I know. And I told her about that guy confessing in Walmart about doing it, and they're supposed to drug me and told me to say weirdo stuff. They were supposed to put a shower scene in stalking videos. And she's like, this is creepy. And I said, I know it is. Okay? So I go to leave them. That was the night before. And so when I go to leave Jen's mom's memorial, I go to get my car. Gabe, my grandson, and his girlfriend Shay walks up to Danny and Jen, my son Danny and his wife Jen, and her brother said, Gabe's like, I heard what she said to Shay. None of this is funny. He said, I looked her up because where I'm putting post on Facebook so my family can read what they sold login by Thanksgiving 18. Like they said, everybody knows what's going on about her family. And said they try to blame us in one of those posts. And we didn't know anything about it. He said, I know. Danny replies, I know, I called my dad. And he said that it was some guy named Pete up there taping her before. And he said some agent went up to that church and was asking them questions about the threats on her life. And said he was looking into it on his own. And he said, and that Pete said he's got it set up, she'll never get any money out of this. He can't. He don't have any authority. He's a retired judge that was human trafficking me, having me raped, sex trafficking videos of me and my husband at the time. Do you realize how sick Dave is? Mentally sick Dave is? Here I'm his wife. He's making love to her, knowing some weird retired judge had kicked in our door and told me not to report it, and told everybody he thought it was a realtor passing out keys, and it's some weird retired judge with no authority in a human trafficking gang, in a drug cartel, that he's watching us. Kids in the bathroom taping it and dispensing with my friends and family and drug dealers. Me in the shower. Me and Dave making love. And then he was so-called sodium pentothal reports breaking in and date rape drugging me. You can't even get sodium pentothal. It's been outlawed since 2017. It's an anesthetic they were using in surgeries. The weird side effect, you'd say yes to anything, but you quit breathing with it and it's too deadly. It's spy flick movie stuff that's lethal, and they outlawed it and make anthrax and lethal injections with it. It's attempted murder. Run around telling everybody where they're date rape drugging me so I'm a human zombie for 4 to 6 hours. He was letting those men beat me under drugs, leave hand marks, bruises. You know, I had yeast infections all summer long. I thought it was the well water being toxic, washing up in it. And I had to even get treated from it for the doctor, using all kinds of infection creams. And here those bastards were raping me. Dave knew I was being raped by drug dealers. He knew they were human trafficking me. He knew they were beating me under drugs. They were sex trafficking videos of me and him in bed. He knew that I was being violated like that. And the only thing I knew, I was sick, had bruises I couldn't explain, and I was throwing up and almost passing out in front of people. And he knew they were violating me, and that they were sex trafficking videos of me and him among a drug cartel. That retired judge, friends and family, he knew about the shower scene. And date rape drugs, there's over 300 of them. That you're a human zombie for 4 to 6 hours. You'll do and say whatever you're told. With no memory. And he knew they were violating me that bad. See, with Dave's submission to Danny, Dave's phone's probably tapped, because an officer went to Dave about the threats on my life from that case. It's supposed to have been some guy named Pete up there taping her. He said some agent went up to that church, told everybody about the threats on her life, and was questioning all of them. He told on Will to Danny, where that officer already verified it by November 6, 22 at Trinity Gospel. They already knew that agent told on me before I called him back. Do you realize with Dave's admission of attempted murder, assault with a deadly weapon, kidnapping, rape, human trafficking, sex trafficking videos of me and him, obtaining kiddie porn of his grandkids in the bathroom, and selling it, what he admitted to on the phone, and of that, knowing that agent told on me before I called back. See, they can never even insinuate you stay quiet. You have a freedom of speech. It takes a sitting judge to put a gag order on you. First Amendment. Like last year, another agent tried to tell an informant out of state they couldn't say anything. They got an attorney and sued him. And the press ripped him a new one. That agency better never back an agent telling anybody they can't say anything. Um, they're only hire law enforcement. They don't have that kind of authority. They're just hire cops. Like Marshall, Secret Service Police, they don't have the right. And the informant program is different than the witness protection program. It's the same thing, but you're left in danger and you're feeding them information. See, last night, the main cop that went today, he was outside of my client's house, where some guy went up there and told them that they were up there taping me before. Those people called the police, and the police said nobody had a right to tape her before in her house. It's like, duh. It's a severe Fourth Amendment violation. Can't be inside somebody's home or in their office. That's why the FBI sits out in vans and watches who goes in and out. They can't bug their offices or their inner part of their homes. You have a right to be safe and secure in your own places and homes. You also have a right to remain quiet and an attorney in a fair court trial, bail, and bond. See, and that guy said that Kurt said that they're going to get a lot of trouble for this. That agent's trying to cover it up. He can't. He opened a real protected lie case. Had a cop talk to Dave even after he'd been told on me. Because he had to, per requirements of Department of Justice, Fourth Amendment. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life, with statements of the knowledge of the threat of life of everybody living in that home. Or it's entrapment. And they can never look or listen. So where they run around thinking they're big and bad, the only thing they can do is go to jail for it and their missions of their crimes. That Pete has nothing set up that I can't get my money. And I'd have to be found guilty in a court of law, and then somebody would have to sue me personally for that money. And I've never been questioned of wrongdoing. I've never been prosecuted. I've never found guilty. They made it all up. To go along with their date rape, drug confession, photoshopping shower scenes. They made it all up. It's a scam they're running. I had a friend that worked in a prosecutor's office. He said it's a big fraud scam. Where they kicked in your door, they probably did set up on cameras. They probably did Photoshop a shower scene in the other room. He said, and where you had marks and you were throwing up and dizzy and almost passing out, they probably were date raped you. And they probably did tell you to say something. But as if it could be used against you. But for their mission of doing it, they go to jail for it. What part of you victimized me? Did you not understand? I want you to think about that. Where people run around laughing at me. People have been taken. People have been murdered during this case. And they're laughing at me because they left me alive and they were victimizing me before. Have you lost your mind making fun of me? People have said we all realize it's a terrorist group doing it to her. You know, seeing that main cop that went to Dave, he told everybody it's innocent. June of 19, Liberty House Sheriff, the worst thing you ever did wrong, honey. He's bent over and probably we can wipe that one out. He's giggling with North Canton Jackson Police. June of 19. He told everybody, some big guys were harassing me, got in their face. He said, you leave my little informant alone. I let the suit handle it and ran. He told everybody, Will gave Karen no wrongdoing in life because she wouldn't abuse it. I have one traffic ticket from 89. Officer John was part of the security team, and they said, John's here to take care of Karen. I'd look over, bring about 20, 30 men. He'd yell out, it's ridiculous for any child to be afraid of Karen. She's nothing but good in love. And one time I quit talking alone in my car and at home, and then I started talking. He came in, he yelled out, and he started laughing. In Walmart, he said, it's great having an informant that talks to us. He said, I know. I knew she couldn't resist us. Those men, you could never disrespect me in front of them. Like the investigators said, Karen's a victim of an assault that drugged her and tried to kill her before. Victim. What part of they don't understand? Huh? And we all know this woman's innocent. It's not your fault when somebody's stalking you. Somebody photoshopped scenes and date rape drugged you and admits they photoshopped everything in their stocking tapes. They can't even look or listen to them. And they're so altered. This is how far they're altered. March 13, 21, I go to Mercy Medical after I left Altman Hospital. Okay? I go in and a lady comes in. No man was ever to touch her. And the nurse comes in with a man. The only thing they had you on was adjusting yourself. The guy said, "That's sick." She said, "No, it's funny. She just simply wiped off some water with clothes on." That's all they had. They didn't have anything else. A simple action of just brushing something off. Well, March 2nd to the 3rd, 21, they said they were going to put two clips together, put her in a porn. It's not her, it's them. And then they kept saying stuff that never happened and made my stomach bleed. Well, they're serial killers. They leave you hints. And you think, when they said, you touch yourself, you expose yourself, you touch yourself, you're weird. I'm like, ew, that never happened. You put my head on somebody else's body, right? That's disgusting. Then I got to thinking, what would you be doing if you were doing that but you weren't weird? You touch yourself, you expose, you undress. You touch yourself, it looks like you're weird, but you're not. You could be putting yeast infection cream on, or you could be washing, getting in the shower and washing up. Showering, right? I go outside to smoke. She figured out what they did. May 12th, 22, Bubba's Restaurant, they found a tape of those boys admitting a shower scene in the other room. May 26th, 22, the shower scene was done on purpose to make you look weird with yourself. At the Oakland apartment, December 9, 21, 4 p.m. Everything was drugged and photoshopped, and it's just a bunch of men doing crimes down here. December 9, 21, Starr County Hunger Task Force, white man with dark eyes, actually worked the case, was a security guard, came out and said, "We always knew the tapes before were them and not her, so we never said a word." Okay. They both talked to the Canton police and investigators. My one client on Shepler Church Road, that White House before hers, they told her that Judge Pete photoshopped and drugged everything, and everything was made up on me. She told the Canton police and investigators in March of last year. January 1922, the Department of Disability, they told them I was drugged and told to say it. February 2nd, 22, a Latino guy inside Burlington Coat Factory admitted he personally drugged me first and told me to say it. People were running into Save-A-Lot out of their houses on 6th Street. Some car from Ravenna that was part of this, a black or a black Sebring or something like that. He was following me around for a long time. He pulls up next to my client's apartment and said, "I seen her out today. I found out that bastard really did drug her and tell her to say it before. I'm not interested in this." My client's like, "Karen, this is crazy." And I'm trying to ignore the whole fiasco. I'm like, "Who's crazy?" He said, "These people, they admit to," he said, "I seen that Latino guy admit to drugging you and telling you to say it before." He said, "And people admitting to raping you in front of people in stores, this is crazy." I'm like, "Stay out of it. I'll tell the police." May 25th, 21, 6 p.m. Wendy's Louisville, of the church people breaking in before drugging me, told me to say where to molest herself. Dave had several girlfriends up there, my ex-husband. One was a fat blonde girl in a blue car. She came down and yelled at the goons from Ravenna by that Saturday afternoon on Fairlawn Street in Louisville. "Are you crazy? You can't enter your confession." He said, they're yelling for everyone to hear. "My car will pick up 2 or 3 parking lots away." Well, we just found out they drugged her and told her what to say before. That was 21. One of the drug dealers showed up and said, "I told those people to get rid of their tapes before and to shut the fuck up." Eight 921, the apartment building for me, second close offense, right out Dave. Dave defends me in the police investigation. Some old man came up to me for every idle word you... No, I had wake up with a big bruise on my leg. I'm throwing up. I go down to Walmart 62 by Wood Forest. He comes up to me, "For every idle word you tell on us, I'll turn on you." I'm like, "Who are you?" He said, "You tried to leave Dave. I'll list you a child molester." I'm like, "Who are you?" He's like, "You know that bruise on your leg? And it's way up by my hip." I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "You know, I use sodium pentothal on you." Now, I just explained to you. It's lethal, it's outlawed, and you admit to anything under. It's an anesthesia they use in surgeries. They outlaw because it cuts off your breathing. They call it spy flick movie stuff. And the side effect, if you live, you just say yes to anything. He said, "You know what you told me?" Now, I never talked to him. He said, you were wearing this one nightgown once and you bent over and probably accidentally seen your butt. You had a lot of pain for it. I'll let you child molester. You try to leave Dave. I'm like, I went home to my legally bugged house. I'm like, Dave, I always wore the grandma nightgown and underwear in the house when the grandkids were over before. I know that. I said, legged and sweater and a house coat when the grandkids were over. I said, I know that. I said, besides the grandma nightgown on my knees and some laces, I just replaced them all last year. I said, and besides that, they only made fun of the back of my knees one time when we were video chatting. Ooh, grandma, what's on the back of your legs? Varicose veins. Here, I'll Papa get changed. She said, I know that. Man didn't even know. What a stupid lie. Stupid, stupid, stupid lie to make up. You break in and you date, rape, drug somebody, wrong nightgown, life of pain and butt lie. This is their permanent plan to do away with me. Stalking tapes, entering, try to date rape, drug confessions, photoshopping shower scenes. It's a stupid permanent plan to do away with somebody. Where Katie said that they had men to take care of me and they had a permanent plan to do away with me. It's a stupid plan. It's life in federal. Seeing that guy that was over the case, he'll tell you I'm innocent of everything. It's good to see him. That means other guys are back. See, after January 1922 Department of Disability, they told him I was drugged and told us they had before. Well, Camp Police started following me around. And they pulled in to Huntington Bank when I'm with a client and said, did you get a hold of Ed? Did you get a hold of the guy at the Hunger Task Force? Were those officers involved? See, I have my own security team. They must have got cleared. See, last week I went up to Ravenna and I sat and I gave them statements. And I went down to buy my son Danny dinner. And they weren't home, so I got myself dinner. And I walked out to my car and one of those guys are out there. He said, I heard it was supposed to have been somebody from your police department taping her before. I don't want anybody saying anything to her. He said, it wasn't any of us. We didn't know anything about it. Some guys just weren't around saying it. And we all feel bad nobody helped her up there. So those guys had to get cleared that they're back. See, they chased people off in Walmart. They surrounded me. They told everybody I was innocent when I was out. That agent in protected custody let me get raped and tortured between July and September 19, midnight to 3:30 in the morning. I went down to Maslin before I came up here, and some people pulled in beside me. And the guy got out of his vehicle and said, I found out she got tortured during this. Nobody should say a word to her. I got tortured, raped and tortured. I tried to get a lady help that said her husband died on that shooting night near Christmas 18. I was almost murdered several times, almost shot in the head driving, almost ran off the road within the first 45 days. There was a shooting night by Christmas 18. Dave's caught with the shooters. They broke in the old lady's apartment, and they were up there in the tent to murder me, and I had to hide not to get killed. And he met outside a legally bugged house, and they actually got him on tape with the shooters. I'm bashed in the back of the head, raped, and left for dead and beat on 12/21/18. Alec, retired Judge Pete's son, admits to it the first week of January 19. 12/21/18, I go to the refrigerator. I'm stabbed in the neck, foggy, hazy, dark, bright light. Felt myself cry. I got a dent, still have a dent in the back of my head. There's a video of someone bashed me in the back of the head. They found that. And then they try to cover it up by saying I had a chip and have people walk by and have their phone dings and act like I was a Pokemon that they could find me. It wasn't funny them doing that, and even lied to Dr. Allen at Tina's March 13/21, and they checked with Dr. Allen. Tina, someone did tell them they had fake FBI badges, got them back at Altman Hospital with them. Lied to them. People really need to verify badges. Call the police on anybody who shows up with a badge. And it was a scam to cover up the attempted murder. They said Alex actually raped me, where the first week of December, he showed up with a bunch of guys and said, hey, he's a big Karen fan. He likes to watch Dave and Karen make love for hours. He couldn't take it anymore. Him and his gang broke in, stabbed me in the neck, bashed me in the back of the head, beat me and raped me, left his white comb on Dave's dresser. Then Brady did it in Bob Evans in January 19, and he's retired Judge Pete's son. And there's a video. He needs to go to jail for attempted murder, rape, and assault, and a whole bunch of other. These people are looking at life in federal. I was found innocent of everything in that case. My whole family spoke highly of me, and they didn't know about this craziness. But with Dave's admission of knowing he was letting all those crimes happen to me, do you realize how sick he is? Do you realize how mentally sick he is? That he was letting his wife be raped, beat, drugged, human trafficked. He was letting them sex traffic videos of me and him together. Him taping, letting them tape his grandkids using the bathroom and selling and obtaining kiddie porn. And he didn't stop it, and they were doing it on their own. With his admission to Danny last week, his phone should be tapped. And he also admitted that the agent went up and told on me to that church, and he's seen him. I'm going to go ahead and upload this. You know, I had yeast infections all summer long. I thought it was the water irritating my skin. I even had to get medicine for it on top of the stuff I was using over the counter. I made love to Dave all the time. I didn't know why I was so sore there. It's because I'd been being raped, and I made love to Dave all the time. And that bastard kept touching me after those men raped me. How sick is he? I'm going to